So another thing everyone knows is that something has gone terribly wrong. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yeah.
And we call this the
And
problem
Michigan
of evil.
and Illinois.
And in my heart, and probably more in my heart than anybody else. And this problem of evil, it prompts us to ask, why is there so much badness in the world? Why do I feel that there is something wrong? Why do I say, hey, this isn't right in the idea of social justice, that's a big thing nowadays for some odd reason. And there's an idea of, well, there's justice. There's a bar that we're not meeting. Yeah. Well, where's that come from?
Yeah,
who
determines that?
Yeah.
Do each of us get to make it up?
Right. Or, you're robbed at gunpoint and they've locked the person down and they say, confess. Yeah, I did it, but I was stronger than Tony was.
Yeah, I had a gun,
so
I could do it.
I deserve his money.
Stuff.
Yeah. Might makes right. Well, no, there's a sense of justice. Now you get your money back, and are you just then? Like, what does justice even mean in that context? At what point in time is justice fulfilled? And so I think justice too, it's something that I've been asking Tony to give me book recommendations and slides on and stuff like that. So I've been really looking at that. What
and
is
he's
it
going to talk about that in the next section.
What does it mean to be just and have this idea of justice in the world? Like, okay, I get paid back twice the amount. Is that justice?
Right.
In a naturalistic world, a world where there's only nature, a world where science is the only means by which we determine truth. What is that?
Yeah.
I've
punishment.
No clue.
Is punishment part of justice?
Yeah. Do I have to punish somebody? Must I punish somebody?
Yeah.
I ought to. Sure, maybe. I don't know. So the world is broken. Mm-hmm. True enough. Okay. There's issues. We see Twitter. We know the world is broken then, but we are broken too. And our brokenness is a huge part of what is wrong with the world. The world is broken because we are broken. Right. Or are we broken because the world is broken? Well, both yes for that. To say the world is broken, we have to have some idea in our mind that it was whole at one point, or there's an image that we have that is
what
the
wholeness is, right? Yeah.
Picking the target and shooting the arrow to say the arrow must go in that direction assumes that you know the location of where the arrow is supposed to go, rather than just up, sideways, behind you, whatever it might be. Yeah. And so you kind of need this target. So when you talk about brokenness, well, what is wholeness? Talk about injustice. What is justice? Yeah. So that's
and so he says, even the scriptures obviously talk about this in Romans chapter 3, right? Verses 10 through 12. Mm-hmm. There is none righteous, not even one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks God. All have turned aside. Together they have become useless. There is none who does good. There is not even one. So we are broken. Mm-hmm. We're broken, right? And notice, this doesn't mean that God's image is erased, right? We still have been created in the image of God. However, God's image can be defaced, disfigured, right? Sullied, spoiled. And that's what has happened, right, with regard to God's image.
So that's why we talk about, Jesus being incorruptible man in the image of the incorruptible God. Right. So we actually have someone that we can look towards that lived this life and lived it perfectly. Yes, in a special way, in a special manner, but there's a process by which we become sanctified and made whole again.
That's right. So humans are beautiful, yes, right. But they're also broken. Right.
And we don't say that about the lion and the gazelle. We don't say, oh, that lion is broken. He's eating the gazelle. Doesn't he know that he should get along with his fellow animal kind? They're quadrupedal. They have four legs. They both have tails. They're both in the same area. Can't we all just get along?
That's right. And so he tells us that in our moral wretchedness, we're also profoundly guilty. We owe, he says. We are in debt, not to a standard, not to a rule, not to a law, but we owe a person, right? To the one we have offended with our disobedience. And that's, of course, is God, right? Yeah,
this is what we talk about, too, when we say, a judge and the lawmakers, they're trying to find the law out there. It's a capital L. There's this idea that the universe, in some capacity, has a law that we're trying to uncover, discover, reveal. And it seems like, okay, well, is it hidden behind Mars? Does it permeate? Is it like the Force, where if we have enough midichlorians, we can sense the Force and use the law to our own capacity? I can't believe I made a prequel reference there. Better than my football references, I guess. We talk about with Robert Murphy about Adam Smith talking about the invisible hand of the market, and it seems like there's an economic law governing interactions of people, again, because we talk about human freedom, we talk about equal scales, wanting to be just, wanting to do what's right, but sometimes things interfere with that. And so we're trying to find this free form of the invisible hand. And so there are ways even outside of philosophy, straight philosophy, where we talk about these things.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. Justice and mercy. We kind of already alluded to this, but each of us longs for justice, right? If someone hits us in the mouth, we have the ability to turn aside, but sometimes we don't want them to do that again. Yeah. That hurt. That hurt the first time. If we're in a car accident, right, and we're sitting at a stoplight, and the light was green and I can go, and the other person hits me, they ran a red light. Well, I want them to pay because I wasn't at fault for the damages I incurred or the loss of revenue or whatever it is. Right. I want to be made whole. I should. And yes, I always have the freedom to say, oh, I'm good. You could be a Buddhist in that way and find no value in things.
That's right.
But I think a lot of us talks about things like, oh, that shouldn't be that way. Or, someone did something and the perpetrator needs to be put away, or there has to be an action taken upon that person in order for society to be protected, or that person to be protected, depending on.
You need to be made whole.
Yeah, what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So we speak of it often, especially when we've suffered injustice, but that is the inside revealing itself on the outside again. Mm-hmm. Justice is not ultimately satisfied in this life, though. It is satisfied in the next. And, and I mean,
ultimate justice obviously doesn't happen.
Right.
Oftentimes, folks who are rich and powerful and whatever, they get away with injustice. Right. They get away with it. They live and they die. They have a great life.
Sure.
And that's the end of it,
mm-hmm.
right? And so justice, at least ultimate justice, really doesn't happen in this life many times.
Right. I guess you could disagree with what form of justice that takes, but it seems like ultimately the person who created or made the universe and the laws and rules is able to merit out this justice or give grace.
Right.
Or,
and so we believe that justice will ultimately take place, right? Not this life, the next one.
Right.